Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to Totally Dacob. We're going to be reviewing Chucky Season 2, Episode 2 and 3 in one go, because I did skip last week. I was at a wedding, the Chucky wedding, and now I'm back. So Chucks, you've been a good boy, but also a bad boy. You guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel here on the tubes. You can also follow me on Patreon, Super Dacob, all spelled together for extra perks. Thank you to my patrons who have already pledged. I live stream every Saturday on my main Super Dacob channel, so be sure to subscribe there and join the fun. I have my co-chatters in the chats on the sidebar. I'll be reading your comments as we go along. So this video does contain spoilers. So if you have not watched Chucky Season 1 or Season 2, all the way up to Episode 2 and 3, now is the time to zone out. Otherwise, stick around. So, listen, in Episode 2 and Episode 3, we are, minus the Tiffany scenes, we are only within this reformatory, this school, this prison for kids, this church moment, this, for some, orphanage. It's kind of a place you go to get re-educated as a kid, I guess, but there's also some kids who don't have any parents who are there, so I guess they're orphans. It's a reform school, says Debs, but it's also, it's not just a reform school, it feels like there's more to it. I don't know, but either way, I really like how Don Mancini kind of focuses very clearly. It's like he's learned how cinema is done. And I know this is a TV show, but it's very cinematographic. It's beautifully shot. I keep repeating, it looks like Pedro Almodovar shot the show. It's just that beautiful. And I love Pedro Almodovar's shots. He's a master at that. But Don Mancini definitely learned to stay in one place. And that gives a lot of power and energy to a show in general, or to the narrative, whether it be a movie or a show. When you kind of stick to just one location for a long period of time, you really give the gravitas, that the heft of the storytelling, when you in a very, very clever way, restrain yourself to one location. So the reform school is where we're at. Since the kids at the end of Episode 1 arrive into the reform school, they never leave. So Episode 2 and Episode 3, it's only happening in the reform school. As I said, minus in Episode 2, the scenes where we have Tiffany at home, and there's some police or FBI agent knocking at her door, asking about Nika. Now, Nika, we find out, is captive to Tiffany, and Tiffany has chopped Nika's limbs off, arms, legs. So Nika is literally a bust that's talking. Tiffany seems to have a plan. We don't really know what this plan is. Chucky also has a plan. Chucky has a plan for world domination. Like, Chucky, you're all over the place, girl. Like, Chucky is like, y'all, let me just take over the world. It's like Pinky and Brain. Chucky is giving me these Pinky and Brain vibes. Like, he's completely gone cuckoo at this point. Now, Jennifer Tilly, possessed by Tiffany, she's not really into world domination. I think she just wants a family in a very sick way. She just wants her peace. And Tiffany, in the body of Jennifer Tilly, also wants success as an actress. So she keeps watching Jennifer Tilly movies, and there's this meta moment where, Tiffany in the body of Jennifer watches Jennifer's movies, and Nika tells her, you're so embarrassing. You're not her. You're obviously never going to be her. You should take some acting lessons. You're using up all her money. You're going to run out of all the funds and all the money. You're living this expensive lifestyle, but you're not getting hired because you can't act. Oh my God. It was so meta. I loved it. Love the sense of humor that also Jennifer Tilly shows as the real her in the show, not being herself anymore. You know what I mean? That she would kind of go with this type of writing and narrative that she would decide and allow for Don Mancini, or that she would allow for her character to make fun of her true self. So now we do find the chopped off head of the doll Tiffany in Jennifer Tilly's bed. Now Jennifer Tilly thinks that Nika is in cahoots with Chucky, and that Nika, even though she has no limbs, somehow together with Chucky managed to deliver the chopped, severed head of Tiffany into her bed. So then we see a scene where Tiffany manages to trigger Chucky within Nika. Nika says, no, Chucky's not in me, Chucky's not in me. But then, Tiffany kind of, I guess through pain, psychological and physical, manages to manifest Chucky from inside of Nika, because Nika is still possessed by Chucky, and then Chucky comes through. So I guess Tiffany in the body of Jennifer Tilly knows more than we know. We're kind of kept away from that part of the story. Debbie in the comments says, I think Andy delivered the severed head. Interesting. But where would he be now after he delivered it? Like, where would he... Another little Chucky. We've got a Mad Balls Chucky here as well today. Oh, wait. It's focused. Yeah, it's more the Bride of Chucky. Chucky. Play Pals. Oh my gosh. So, I'm not so sure. Maybe it's Andy, but then where would he be after? I don't know. But then also, I'm thinking... I think Nika knows. Maybe Nika is... No, I don't think Chucky would be connected to Andy. So if Nika is connected to Andy, Chucky would know. So not so sure about that. But it's a possibility, since we obviously, at this point, all think that Andy is still alive, because we haven't seen him die on screen. Now, the Reform School... So a lot of people seem to have had problems and issues with episode 2. With episode 1. Online reviews were not so good. I enjoyed episode 1. I thought it was great. Episode 2 was also very pleasant. We also see Jake and Devin kind of, we see their relationship. For some awkward reason, they're starting to have trouble with each other. And now, I really don't know why the writing would go in that direction. It's like they never really had a chance to enjoy each other, but they're already kind of fighting with each other. And the father of the Reform School is kind of trying to make them feel guilty for what they are. In episode 3, we're going to see that he finds out that they're a couple. So he finds out that Jack and Devin are gay. And it seems like he's not into that. He doesn't like that for them, but then he didn't really speak out openly against them being gay, but he did mention the sin and the guilt, and I mean, who knows? Maybe he's gay too. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you never know in this show. Now, Lexi is in a room with a ginger-headed little girl that looks, everybody calls her the ginger Harry Potter, because she has the Harry Potter glasses and she's kind of in this school. And the school does look like Hogwarts, and there's a lot of references to Harry Potter in the second episode. There's a lot of moments where the kids do mention the Harry Potter books or the movies, or just some kind of Easter egg moments that make us feel like the kids are in some psycho asylum ward version of Hogwarts. And it does feel like that from their uniforms, from how the school is, adorned, how it's all kind of... The aesthetic of it. It does look like Harry Potter. And the little ginger girl, I forget her name, somebody help me in the... in the chats. What's her name? I forgot the name of the new character. Very interesting how the new character girl, like we think, oh, first of all, when I saw her now, had I not seen the making of, like the film, the behind the scenes photos in these past months as they were filming Chucky season 2, had I not seen all of those photos, I would not know who Glen and Glenda are. Like who was cast as Glen and Glenda. But since I know who was cast as Glen and Glenda, when I saw the little girl, I knew, okay, well, that can't be Glen or Glenda, right? Because other actors were cast, or another actor was cast for Glen and Glenda. So, but had I not known that, I would have thought that that was Glenda or Glen, the little girl. Debbie, you can't remember? I also don't remember her name. But she's really good, especially in episode 3. She really shines. She's convincing, like this naive character, but also is a thief and is kind of also stealing stuff. So there's a mean streak there. But I would have thought, well, that would have been a great Glen or Glenda, but no. That's not Glen and Glenda. At the end of episode 2, we do see Glen and Glenda arrive to Tiffany's house. Now, there is this police officer, FBI officer, that's poking around Tiffany's house, Jennifer Tilly's house, and Jennifer opens the door and he says, hey, referencing to Cult of Chucky, the last movie, says, Nika has disappeared from the asylum. She's dangerous, so like we're worried about you, she might be a killer. Now, Jennifer Tilly is keeping Nika hostage, so she knows that Nika is not the murderer that the police thinks she is. But this officer does not let go and comes back again, and Jennifer Tilly kills him. So fascinating how characters are introduced in the show and you feel like there's going to be some sort of evolution with them, but they die instantly. So like, for example, in episode 1, Jake's new little brother from the adoptive family, also you think, oh, there's going to be some sort of arch an evolution between them because they were hinting at him being Batman and his little new brother being Robin, like Batman and Robin, they might save the day. No, the little kid dies at the end of episode 1. You're like, oh, okay, well, they introduced the character for no reason. Okay. So the same happens to the police officer in episode 2. You're like, oh, okay, this is going to be the police officer of the season. Like he's going to be around for a couple of episodes at least, right? Just like in season 1. The police officers were around for a couple of episodes before they got killed. But no, he showed up twice and then he got killed. I'm like, oh, okay, way to go. Then in episode 2, we get Lexi's bully. I forgot his name. The boy who was also the bully, or that she bullied rather, when they were outside of reform school. And then he ended up in reform school because of Lexi, allegedly. So he's introduced as the antagonist, kind of. As the antagonist of the ex-antagonist, Lexi being the ex-antagonist from season 1. And you're like, oh, he's going to want to bully her. But he seems like he's changed and become a better person. But she wants to like assert dominance and tells him already in episode 2, like, I'm the boss here. Don't mess with me. I know that you're mean, blah, blah, blah. And so, but he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, but then in episode 3, he shows his true colors and says like, I'm going to make life a living hell for you here. And again, this character is introduced to us, made it barely through 1.5 episodes, and he gets killed too. I'm like, oh, okay. So I thought he was going to be that antagonist. He's going to be the bully. But surprising turn of events, he gets killed immediately in episode 3. And subverting expectations, I guess, but also very refreshing because I was a little bit worried, like, oh boy, he's so annoying. He's going to be that cliche of a bully throughout the whole season. It's going to be like, we've seen characters like this so many times and they never really get a redemption arc. They never really get a coming to Jesus moment. They never really change. They never become better. They just a cheap obstacle for the characters, and it really is annoying, and then at a certain point they leave. But Don Mancini very cleverly gets rid of him immediately. He's like, oh, here, this is the cliche, but sorry, the cliche character that we're so used to in all of these horror movies ain't gonna happen. killed. I was like, oh, interesting. But again, in the first episode, the little stepbrother killed. Second episode, the police officer or FBI agent killed. Third episode, the bully killed. Nadine. Nadine is the name of the little ginger girl. Yeah. Can we talk about the Megan coming for Chucky on Twitter? LOL. Oh my God! Dondism. What happened? I didn't know. The Megan. Megan. Really? What was she doing? Coming for Chucky on Twitter? What did she say? Debbie says she belongs in Harry Potter movies. Who? Nadine? Totally. Madame says, but she belongs in this inclusive world, unlike Harry Potter. I don't think she belongs in this world. She's talking to herself all the time. Nobody cares for her. We see in episode 3 as she's like, as the priest got killed by the muscle Chucky, which we're going to get to. Oh my God. And he tells her, like, say 300 or 400 Hail Marys. She's like, that's a little bit much, but okay. And as she's walking through the school and saying the Hail Marys, and like, walking, saying the Hail Marys, and people pass, but nobody pays attention to her. She's an outsider in that school. Nobody cares for her. So I do feel like she's a Harry Potter there. Nope, they're not bullying her actively, but she's invisible to them. Nobody sees her. So, Debbie says she knows how to use her gifts. The petty nuns are hilarious. The nuns are hilarious. The one nun dying of a heart attack is hilarious. The fact that Don Mancini introduces a Chucky that is not a killer, but is just a scout Chucky, already really fun. Mind-blowing in a way because he's just cuckoo. Taking photos, also selfies, but also photos of all of them to send allegedly, right? To send all of these pictures to the Colonel. The Colonel, I guess we find out at the end of episode 3, is the buff Chucky. Buff Chucky. Oh my God, we need a toy. Trick or Treat Studios, NECA, make buff Chucky. Loved it. Loved buff Chucky. We had the dumb Chucky, then the buff Chucky. I mean, this seems like in every episode we're going to get a new Chucky. That would be amazing. 10 or 8 episodes, how many we're going to get. If we get a different Chucky in every episode, oh my gosh, that would be so cool. Now, one of the nun dies of a heart attack when the scout Chucky scares her, which is so funny. I mean, the priest guy dies when buff Chucky kills him. The bully dies when a buff Chucky jumps at him and rips his heart out and leaves a hole in his body. Amazing death sequence. I wonder if on the Blu-ray, once they release it on Blu-ray, if they're going to show us the actual full death scene, because on television, they didn't show it happen, which is kind of a pity. I would have loved to see Chucky jump at him and do that. Instead, we have a cut. We cut to the bully with the hole in his chest. But would have loved to see Chucky actually do the thing, but we didn't see that, which is a pity. What are the chats saying? Nadine, she used to use it to scare my... Oh, yeah. Madame also says the bully guy was very much Draco Malfoy. Glad he's gone. The Megan thing was so stupid, says Michael G. Madame says, yes, Megan read Chucky. What did she do? Twitter beef between Chucky and Megan, LOL. Madame says, Luna, Lovegood, but without the bullying, the army. I have no clue what's going on in the chats. Okay, so we don't get to see Glen and Glenda. At the end of episode 2, the car pulls up. Tiffany just killed the police officer. She has to dispose of the body. There's blood on the floor. And Glen and Glenda arrive, and there's this pink Cadillac car arriving, and the license plate reads they, them. Because, we don't know if Glen is Glenda or Glenda is Glen, or, because they never wanted to choose, right? They never could choose if they wanted to be a boy or a girl. And they arrive in this car. We just see the feet stepping out of the car, walking towards the house. The door opens. Tiffany just managed to pull away the body or cover it up. There's blood everywhere. Sorry, I just hit the mic. There's blood everywhere. She didn't really manage to hide the body. The kids arrive, and she's like, hi. And of course, they know that she did another killing. So I guess there's going to be a fight between the kids telling mom, like, you got to stop killing people, mom. So hilarious. So I can't wait to see Glen and Glenda. However, episode 3 does not touch base at all on Jennifer Tilly / Tiffany / Nika / Glen and Glenda. Instead, episode 3 is only in the reform school. That's all we get to see. And we have the priest killed by Buff Chucky. We have the bully killed by Buff Chucky. Interesting that, Madame, you mentioned that he is like Draco Malfoy, because he was also blonde. I mean, not like white-haired, but the bully is blonde. So he definitely gave Draco Malfoy vibes, for sure. And I'm not so sure how I feel about Lexi's drug addiction. I guess it's normal for like a teenager coming of age story. Usually this is, again, I think Don Mancini referencing 80s and 90s sitcoms or TV shows. They would always touch base on some drug addiction, pill addiction, even Saved by the Bell at a certain point. For those of you who know the sitcom Saved by the Bell, even in that show, one of the characters got addicted to pills because they had too many exams and tests they had to pass, and also they touched base on drug addiction. Like every TV show, whether it be a more serious TV show like Beverly Hills 90210 or sitcoms, would deal with it if there were teenagers involved or coming of age stories. So I kind of have the feeling they had to tick that box off for the Chucky TV show as well. So they figured, okay, Lexi's going to be our drug addict. The scene between Lexi and Nadine in the bathroom. So Nadine, as she wants to confess to the priest, different things, seems like everybody is running away from Nadine. The kids at the school don't want to have anything to do with her. Even the nuns and the priest don't want to have anything to do with her because she talks a lot, because she's annoying to them. So she is not accepted by anybody, really. But she sees things and she knows things, and she says to the nun or to the priest, I recognize addiction. I see that Lexi is addicted. So, but very, very beautiful writing, because when in the bathroom, Lexi's having her breakdown and Nadine comes in and they sit together in the bathroom and hold hands. Nadine never makes it weigh on Lexi, the addiction. She never makes it weigh on her. She never makes her feel guilty or bad about it. She, in fact, never mentions it. She doesn't say, I know you're a pill popper. I know you're addicted, this or that. She kind of keeps it chill and just tells her, like, I'm here to help you. Now, do we trust her? Do we trust Nadine? Well, we do know that the teacher from season 1, also a ginger person, was kind of a red herring, literally red, because, well, I was thinking throughout the entire first season, oh, this is going to be Glen and Glenda somehow in some weird way, or they maybe possessed her body or something like that. But the teacher, and I forgot her name, from the first season, Miss Fairchild, ended up they just dropped that plot. She was at the grave at the end of the first season, but nothing really happened there, and she's not back. She might appear in season 2 at a certain point. We don't know. But so that's kind of an interesting moment, that now Nadine is the red herring, and I thought, oh, she's going to know more than she kind of leads on to making us believe. I don't know. I just thought it was very fascinating when Nadine took out her music tapes, put them on a table. The camera kind of zooms in a little bit into one of the tapes that she puts on the table, and it says Tony Caputo's music tape or something like that. And Tony Caputo was Charles or Chucky's when he was still alive. It was his accomplice in the crimes. And Tony Caputo was also at that same reform school. The fact that Nadine has his tape, what does that mean? Is she Tony Caputo's kid? Did she find some secret storage or some secret niche in the reform school where Chucky and Tony Caputo would hide stuff in? How does she have how does she have a music tape from Tony Caputo from the 80s or from the 70s even? Interesting, right? Debbie says the Army cliffhanger, and Nadine is also a copy of Luna Lovegood. Yes, Dare was a big thing. Chucky versus Megan movie. Oh, Megan. Yeah, okay. Megan, the new Chucky, the doll, the Megan doll. Yeah, not a fan of her. So, but it's kind of good It's cross promotion for both franchises that the two of them have beef. It's kind of genius. Yeah, I've seen that on Twitter. I thought you meant the other Megan. Anyway, so now when the bully dies, now before he dies, he plants pills in Lexi's drawer, right? Because he knows that the rooms are going to get controlled. They're going to get checked by the nun. There's going to be an inspection coming. And he wants to put the pills in her room to frame her and to get her in trouble. Because she got him in trouble by yelling at the nuns like, oh, I don't know how you can get condoms in here. And then the nuns punished him because, they implied that he was horny and wanted to have sex with somebody there. So he steals or gets the pills because he tells her like he knows how to get access to the pills. He gets a bunch of pills in a plastic bag, hides them in Lexi's drawer, and wants to leave the room when Buff Chucky appears and kills him. So then Lexi and Nadine enter the room, find the dead body. Inspection is about to begin. They hide the body in the closet, put a blanket on the bloody floor. Lexi pulls the drawer open to find something in it, finds the pills, hides them in her pocket. The nun comes in, is about to inspect the whole room, but then Nadine starts talking to the nun and starts being very like, oh, did you know that this and that? And the nun is like, oh my God, I can't deal with you, Nadine. Okay, you know what? Inspection is over. Bye. So now Lexi's left with a bag full of pills. She just ran out of pills and had her coming down moment. Now she has a whole bunch of pills again. So I guess she's not off the pills. She's going to consume those pills that she has in her pocket now. So we're left with, okay, that whole narrative of her being addicted is still a thing. I'm not personally enjoying very much the dynamic between Jake and Devin. I think there's no reason for them to be so harsh to each other. I don't think there's any reason for them to be so anti each other, like pushing each other away. But then like they do kiss. That kiss did not really work for me, I have to say. I don't know. On the staircase when father sees them. But they're kind of, Devin in particular, he's kind of pulling away the whole time. Like, why? You're finally together. Just enjoy this weird asylum moment together. I don't know. I think oh, he planted weed? No, I thought I saw pills. Maybe weed and pills, madame. There's no reason for them to be against each other, says madame. I agree with you. I felt like, why are they so... There's some anti-energy between them. It's like they're pulling away from each other. And I just feel the whole time, this is unnecessary. It's very, very unnecessary. And I don't think it's doing the show much good to have that lack of peace between them. And also this constant running in and out of rooms. Like, you take care of Chucky while we go, you go, they go. These people, because there's not a lot you can do if you're filming everything in one space. So a character, you have to get a character to leave a room in order to progress with the narrative, and then the character comes back into the room again. But while the character left the room, something has to change in the room. So when the character comes back, there's space for new narrative. And they're kind of abusing that, especially in episode 3, this let's all meet in one room and let's reform Chucky. So the Sentinel Chucky, they're trying to brainwash him into becoming a good Chucky, a good guy's doll. And first of all, how did they come to that conclusion is also a little bit too quick. I think it wasn't really deserved, that moment of them like coming to the realization, let's reform Chucky. So Nadine, Lexi, I think at the end of episode 1 or in episode 2, Lexi tells Nadine, or Nadine finds out about Chucky. So Nadine is in on it. Nadine knows everything that all of them know. So now it's a gang of 4. It's 2 girls and 2 boys. Nadine and Lexi and Devin and Jake. The 4 of them know about Chucky. There's, again, this annoying narrative of the father always saying, like, bring back the doll, otherwise I'm going to punish you. Like, leave the doll alone. You know, this whole concept of the grown-ups not seeing that Chucky is a killer doll and the kids seeing that he's a killer doll is getting a little bit old. I wish that everybody just knew that he's a killer doll and that they're all against him and he still manages to mess with them. That's what I would personally prefer. I'm a little bit done with this narrative of only the kids know that he's a killer doll and the grown-ups don't. Ugh, until it's too late and he kills the grown-ups. A bit tired of that narrative. But anyway, so in episode 3, we have the kids. Well, in episode 2, they catch the Sentinel Chucky. And in episode 3, they come to the conclusion, because I guess of what Jake and Devin went to class and the nun was telling them something about redemption and changing or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, they tie up the Chucky. And then in episode 3, the Sentinel Chucky is put under torture to become good. Now, this is a scene, I'm surprised more people didn't catch this, but it is straight out of A Clockwork Orange. And, you know, Chucky's eyes are kept open with little bobby pins. So similar to the professional version of in A Clockwork Orange, as we see the main character, you know, his eyes open as he's kind of fed all of this information and he can't blink ever. And it's kind of like a torture thing. So the Sentinel Chucky is shown a bunch of aggressive horror movies and slashers and gore, including The Thing by John Carpenter, amongst others. And, you know, at the beginning, he just loves it, but then it becomes too much for him. And then he starts barfing all over the iPad. I love that the iPhone. I love that they kind of just taped an iPhone to a chair in front of Chucky because they don't have a TV there. And he has to watch this little tiny screen of the phone, and he kind of at one point starts barfing when he's had too much. He says, please stop, I can't take it anymore. And then they continue torturing him by showing him My Little Pony and stuff like that, and he just keeps barfing all over the place. That was amazing. I loved that. Like, torturing Chucky to make him become a good guy, and then he does become a good guy, and Brad Dourif's voice as a good guy, like a dumb, you know, you can't use certain words nowadays anymore. It's not politically correct anymore, but like he's completely wasted. Love it. And then like when they give the reformed Chucky an apple and he bites into it, and then even Lexi says, oh, okay, that was so adorable. Like, it's Chucky, we hate him, he's a killer, but that was so adorable how he was like chewing and nibbling on the apple. And it is adorable. But then the thing about Chucky is like he's adorable even when he's like buff Chucky killing everybody on a killing spree. He's adorable even when he's like torturing you. Like that's the power of Chucky. He's just adorable. It's his power. Julie says, I saw immediately that it was a play on A Clockwork Orange, Julie. Freud would have a lot to say about that, Julie. You missed an L. Anthony says Don Mancini loves his movies. Oh, he's obsessed. Yeah. And when they're shooting the TV show, every time that there's a photo of Don Mancini, he's every day wearing a t-shirt with a different movie poster on it. Like, he's obsessed, right? But in a good way. Because he also knows how to take the best out of all those movies and delivers a good homage to the movies and furthers the narrative. it's very constructive what he's doing. Love it. And it's not just manneristic, for the sake of mannerism. There's always an evolution to his references. Debbie says, yeah, Jake always with his guilt. Julie says, no, the bag that Lexi had, it was pills, not weed. Debbie says, because he bought Chucky and the school playing on his guilt. Yeah, but like, get over it. Get over yourself, girl. Like, you're not the first victim of Chucky. Andy is the first victim of Chucky. So, you're not that special, Jake. You're just one victim in an ocean of victims that Chucky has left behind. So, sorry, boo. But anyway, Madame says, but they are not smart to be out there kissing in public in that homophobic environment. So true. So true. I also thought to myself, idiots. The middle of the school, on the staircase where everybody can pass by, you decide to kiss? Seriously? Seriously? But hey, you wanted the bicycle. Well, now pedal. I loved the reference to Dali's Christ. What a wonderful educational moment that was. Where the nun explains to them that was kind of the first time. I mean, that's just beautiful. Salvador Dali is an incredible artist anyway, but to have Jesus on the cross, crucified, and it's so true. You enter a church, you see a painting of Jesus on the cross, you always have to look up to him. In the paintings, he's up there. You're down here. You're looking up to him on the cross. Always. And in paintings. And if there's a cross in a church or in a house, the cross is always higher than you. You always look up to the cross. Jesus on a cross. But Dali's Jesus on a cross is painted with a perspective of somebody viewing him from above down. And what a beautiful moment. And it's like, well, this is interesting because Dali paints it from the perspective of God looking down at his son. And the sadness that God feels at the torment and the pain that his son is going through. Beautiful moment. So glad that they put that into this show. Madame says, loved that Dali reference. Julie says, me too. I loved it as well. I thought that was so elegant. That nun is really good. She's kind. She understands what's going on. And she's also fighting against the father in her own very intelligent way. And she's teaching about art. And I love how Don Mancini, in every episode, he inserts art education. And he educates his viewers as well. I think that is so beautiful and very thoughtful for a horror movie or for a horror series to have those references on such a high level, on such a high educational art level, is really cool, you guys, and not to be underestimated. It's not just horror for the sake of horror. This is intelligent writing, intelligent educational horror and art. Jake is an artist, so of course he's interested in all this. Don Mancini, listen, whoever tells me that it's not a little bit autobiographical what Don Mancini is doing here, Don Mancini being also gay and Jake being his main character also being gay. I'm not saying that Don Mancini went through a childhood with a killer doll. I'm not saying that at all. But he sees himself as an outsider gay kid growing up in a hostile environment. And, well, Jake is the same is happening to his character, Jake. And Don Mancini loving art so much. And Don Mancini learned about art. And he's literally, through this TV show, also teaching us about art, the stuff that he knows. He's very giving, I feel, as an artist, Don Mancini. And I like how he spins his narrative in the show. And another gay icon, says Madame. Oh, Don Mancini. Yes, definitely. Comanita says, we had a special Dali showcase in Tampa many, many years ago. It was phenomenal. Dali is incredible. Dali was also a friend of Coco Chanel, by the way. But that's a story for another day. But to have that depiction of the Jesus seen from the perspective of God in the painting instead of the other way around, it's just eye-opening, and it changes your entire perspective on how you see the world, and it allows you to open your eyes, which is exactly what art should be. It should transcend religion and politics. Art should be free of all of that. Art should enable you to free yourself from the chains of propaganda and lies and to see the truth. And that Dali reference, it literally could not have been better. I don't think they could have done a better reference. It was just so sublime. That thing made the episode for me personally. Also, episode 3 was made by Chucky's rehabilitation and becoming a good guy, and like that cute. I mean, he's cute even when he barfs all over that mobile phone, and all the kids sleeping there waiting for Chucky, to be changed. And then they wake up in all the goo and all the barf everywhere, and Chucky's like, "Hey, I'm a good guy now." You know what I mean? Oh my God, it's just brilliant, really brilliant. When Buff Chucky appears, and at the beginning we don't see him, we just feel that he has a lot of power. He also talks a little bit more, alpha male. But then when we actually see him appear with the half of his shirt torn and the pecs and the six-pack poking out, and he comes in and he's like, "Y'all," oh my gosh, living for it. Such an 80s moment. I don't know. It felt like Ghoulies Go to College. Has anybody watched Ghoulies Go to College? It felt a little bit like that. It felt like all the best movies and also B movies from the 80s, kind of bringing it. He brought it all back to life. The energy is there. The intentions are there. The motivations are there. The aesthetic is there. The writing is there. It's really working. It's really working. I do think he can go even deeper. Now, I know this is a mass-released product. It's for the masses. It's a TV show. He wants to keep this thing going. So he doesn't want to do it too cuckoo and crazy, I guess, not too artistic. So he still wants to keep it rooted so that everybody can access it, so that every level of intelligence can access it. And I get it. But I also feel, he can push it further, I believe. I personally wouldn't mind. But what I do feel is a lot of passion and love. He is definite. Don Mancini, you see how much effort goes into this. Like, he wants this. This is a labor of love. I really feel like I feel the love in every episode. I feel like so much attention to detail on whatever budget they were on, which is not the same budget that Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power had. And look what a travesty that show turned out to be. But with the budget he was given, he makes magic. And you can only make magic with the budget you're given if you really, really love with all your heart your story, the story that you're telling, the characters that you're dealing with. There's a lot of love in that show. I feel it. It's amazing. It feels comfortable to be there with these characters, no matter how many subtle problems I might see with the writing or with this kind of going in and out of rooms of the characters, and the father being like, "Bring me the Chucky doll or I will punish your boyfriend," without saying boyfriend. And then Devin has to polish the stuff. That stuff is a little bit annoying. But all that aside, I feel like so much love is in this show that it just feels, no matter if it's a horror show, it still feels really comfortable to be there with these characters, and I want to be there every week with them. It just feels like home in a sick way, but it feels like, right? It feels like home to me. You know. What do you mean Dali Dacob, the other gay? Well, Dali was not gay. Are you calling me the Dali Dacob? Salvador Dali was not gay. He might have been queer, but I mean, he was married. He was not gay. Comelita says, "I love that perspective, how you are explaining it. Professor Dacob." Oh, Comelita, thank you. Seeing the Goonies, not Ghoulies, lol. Goonies, also amazing. Another amazing movie from the 80s, but Ghoulies, because we're talking horror here and on a lower budget, I love Ghoulies. Ghoulies 2 being my favorite one. And Julie says, Brad Dourif must be having a blast with these voices. That's another point, Julie. I think Brad Dourif is also enjoying it a lot. You hear it. You hear that he's enjoying it. I mean, his daughter is also in the show. She's actually physically in the show. His real daughter is in the show. She's playing Nika. And then Brad is himself, but just as voice, changing the voice according to the different Chuckies that he's playing. And you feel that he has fun. You hear it in the voice, in his voice, that he's enjoying it. He's having fun with this. So also from all the photos that they've taken on the set while they were, filming the show, mostly posted by Jennifer Tilly, like it looked like they were really having fun with each other. It looked like they're a cast of characters that really enjoy each other. I can't wait to see Jennifer Tilly's real family join the show and what sort of parts they're going to play. Very meta. Super excited about that. But also, it just, everything looks like there's a lot of love there. And it feels amazing. It feels really amazing. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen with the shrink from the first episode, the elderly lady who sent the kids to the reform school. Is she really in on this whole thing, or is she also another red herring? We also do find out by the end of episode 3 that Lexi's mom did not win the election. She's no longer mayor. I thought that was interesting that she would not tell her herself that Lexi is not talking to her mom. I guess her mom is not interested in Lexi, really, since she's sent off to reform school. But I found it fascinating that the bully had to tell her that her mom didn't win the election. Kind of interesting. So, very fascinating. Julie says she looks so much like him. Brad Dourif's daughter, who plays Nika. Now, Nika, yeah, that's why Julie says we need more flashbacks. Oh no, Anthony says we need more flashbacks. Nika playing her father as Charles when he was younger, so meta. Love the fact that the daughter is playing her father when he was younger. And then he's voicing her over. It's his voice. She's dressed like her father, and he's synchronizing her. This was season 1, by the way. Amazing. 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 Oh, yeah. Remember, the bully might have lied. True. The bully might have lied about the mom not winning. Why would he lie about that, though? Because, I mean, Lexi's going to find out sooner or later, and then when she finds out, she's going to tell him, like, oh, so you lied to me about that? What a way to go. But all in all, I'm loving season 2. I'm loving how focused Don Mancini is on just staying inside of this reform house and really discovering all the aspects of this, not reform house, reform school, of this Hogwarts, of this horror version of Hogwarts, discovering all the aspects of it, the staircases, the rooms, the different opportunities that this sort of set offers, and this just the story. Like, I have no clue where this is going to go, and that is amazing as well. Now we're by the end of episode 3, I have no clue where he's taking us. The mystery is just, it's there. Like, I have no clue. Okay, I mean, fine. The aim is for the kids to survive. Okay, that's like normal. Duh, you want to live, so that's nothing special. But for a horror movie, that's nothing special. But for us to not know really what is going down, like what does Tiffany want to do? What do Glen and Glenda have in mind? What is their plan? What is Chucky's new master plan to dominate the world? You know what I mean? Like I have no clue what's going to happen. And characters get introduced in one episode, and then in the same episode they die. So you're constantly surprised. Like, they keep me guessing. And now that there's a new Chucky every episode, I'm like, what? Buff Chucky, I was obliterated. I had no clue Buff Chucky existed. And then when he showed up, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Debbie says, how can it resolve in 5 episodes? Oh, yeah, it's only 8 episodes. I keep thinking it's going to be 10 episodes, but it's not. I got a shoulder Baby Yoda. Let's put Baby Yoda on Chucky's shoulder. How does this look? Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Chucky. Shoulder Baby Yoda on your shoulder? Baby Yoda on a shoulder. Oh. Oh my gosh. This is so adorable. Chucky. Hold on. Ha! Oh my gosh. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? Anyway, Anthony says bald Chucky and buff Chucky in the same season. It's amazing, right? Episode 1, we had the bald Chucky. Episode 2, we have the Sentinel Chucky, who's not a killer, which is also new to him. Episode 3, we get buff Chucky and brainwashed Chucky. You know there's going to be a 4th Chucky in episode 4. Unless they, again, don't subvert expectations, which they might. Anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, are you enjoying this show as much as I am? Because I'm thrilled with it. I'm so ecstatic about it. So happy with it. It's just such a joy every week to get a new episode. And also remember last season when we realized, oh, it's only going to be 8 episodes, not 10. I was like super sad. And now again, I'm sad. You're right, Debs. It's only 5 more episodes to go. But hey, you know what? If by doing 8 episodes instead of 10, they get a little bit more budget to make every episode a little bit more, then that's fine for me too, you know? As long as the quality keeps being the way it is now, if in order to get this quality, we can only get 8 episodes a season, then I'm fine with that. You know, just don't water it down. Keep it intense, dense, and with this beautiful quality, and I'm all for it. Live in ferret, die in ferret, beg in ferret. Julie Scott says, I'm enjoying it. Bold Chucky. Same. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And also, I was expecting by episode 2, because apparently it's having really good viewership, like it's getting great numbers. I was expecting them by now to officially already announce a renewal for season 3, but I have not seen an official renewal for season 3. Maybe by the time I post this video, there will be an official announcement for season 3, but I haven't seen it yet. I think they should. It's amazing. I think the show it's the best horror show I've seen in many years. Hands down. Because it's intelligent. It has so many layers to it. It's not just horror for the sake of jump scares. You know what I mean? There's wit and comedy there and intelligence, and it's a very intelligent piece of work and a very intense labor of love as well. So I'm all for it. Anyway, Madame says, enjoying for the fun of it, but the relationship should be flourishing, not going against each other. Madame, I completely agree with you on that. It's so useless to have Jake and Devin fight or just being so anti each other. It really makes no sense, and it's irritating me, you know. Can you please give us your best impression of the Chucky laugh? There you go. I could have given you a better one, but I've been talking in a live stream for 10 hours already, so I can't do more. And Julie says, I want to work out with buff Chucky. That's the only Chucky that I'm really scared of. I don't want to be in the same room with buff Chucky, because I think he's crazy as a bat, and he would just rip my heart out, like literally. Oh, Aaron is applauding for the, thank you so much. All right, you guys, you're applauding from impersonation. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And until next time, don't forget to never give up on Chucky love. Subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Bye.